What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of NBA Best Bets here on the Cowbell Kingdom Basketball Zone YouTube channel. And man, it feels good to be back after the holidays. I hope everyone had a good holiday season so far, with one more holiday still to come up with New Year's. But look, man, we had a nice run going into the Christmas break. We ended the Christmas break on a loss of a day, but we're still positive on the year, and I'm very confident here that I'll have my Excel sheet ready to go up every single time I do one of these shows by the time next week's show starts. So Monday's show of next week, I should definitely have the Excel sheet ready to go, ready to rock, and you guys will see it on one of these sides here. And yeah, look guys, I got a nice backdrop, everything, so you guys don't have to see what's behind me anymore. No more seeing my ceiling fan and nothing. It's a little bit cleaner of a look, and that's what I'm trying to do, is just continuously get this show better, and look at a brand new microphone. Hopefully this one sounds just as good, if not better, than my previous microphone. But yeah, man, we're looking to get better, and that includes getting wins. And the more wins we get, the better the show grows. The more the show grows, the more cool things that we can get here for this show. And speaking of the show, this show, NBA Best Bets, is sponsored by FanDuel.com. Everyone go to FanDuel.com, and when signing up, be sure to use promo code KingsCourt. That's right. Use the name of my podcast, Kings Court, where I host and cover the Sacramento Kings. That's right. Promo code KingsCourt, and you will get a full $500 match deposit. So you throw in $500 or more, they'll match up to $500 of your very first deposit, and that's over at FanDuel.com. Now, without further delay, guys, I want to jump right into today's slate because we are running short on time. It's already 3:20 when I started recording this show, so I know you guys really want this stuff, and it's good that I waited because a lot of these COVID protocols, whether people are coming back or not, if it's going to affect these picks a little bit. So this is going to be our last rush show. More balance coming here in the future as well. A lot more clean layout and how the show is presented. It's going to be a lot better moving forward. So bear with me on these rush days. Now, first game up, we have the Milwaukee Bucks on the road facing off against the Orlando Magic, facing a ton of both injuries and, of course, COVID protocols. Jalen Suggs out, Cole Anthony out. They do have Wendell Carter Jr. back, but still no Mo Bamba. Bucks, 14.5-point favorite, guys. And look, the numbers are leaning toward taking that at 70% of bettors are landing with minus 14.5 for the Milwaukee Bucks. And I'm with them. I like that for one unit. The Milwaukee Bucks just seem to start getting more and more guys healthy. They got Pat Connaughton back, Dante DiVincenzo back. They still got George Hill coming off the bench. Drew Holiday's played phenomenal. And, of course, Chris Middleton and Grayson Allen all playing well for them. And now they also have Portis and Cousins. Everyone's in the mix. The Bucks got healthy at the right time. They're healthy here in this matchup against Orlando. It's 14.5-point favorites on the road. I like the Milwaukee Bucks. We move on to game number 2, where we have the Washington Wizards as 7.5-point underdogs to the Miami Heat. Still no official word on Bradley Beal as he is coming out of health and safety protocols. I believe we're still waiting on one more test. I'm looking at all the alerts to make sure that he is playing. Now, if he is playing, I kind of like that spread with the plus 7.5 for the Wizards if he does play, just because it gives them a little bit more versatility out on the wing. And there's still no presence down low from the Heat, right? They lost Dwayne Dedmon for at least 2 weeks. They've lost Bam Adebayo continuously with that hand surgery. Kyle Lowry's out. I am timidly going with the Wizards, but man, it's really a coin flip either way. The over-under sits at 207.5, which is a great number. I don't think I can touch that one at all. 75% of bettors are going on the over of that 207.5. I really couldn't see it going any other way. I know they're on the road, and I know that Gabe Vincent and Max Strus and Yurt Seven have been playing phenomenally, but the Wizards still have some guys in Denny Avdia and Kyle Kuzma and Spencer Dinwiddie that are capable of putting up numbers. This game is one that I would fade. I'm not going to have any of my personal money on it, but if I did have to pick, I would go with the Washington Wizards at plus 7.5 on the road here. There's just too much potential to be had. The Philadelphia 76ers are on the road heading into Toronto in this game. They're 5.5-point favorites, where the Raptors are going to get some guys back. Pascal Siakam, Gary Trent Jr., they've cleared health and safety protocols. I know for a fact Gary Trent Jr. is playing. That's been confirmed. Pascal Siakam is probable due to conditioning, but still no official word on that game. Look, I love Joel Embiid at $10,700 on FanDuel. I think he's a great DFS play. And you know what? I like the Sixers here on the road as well at -5.5. They do have no Andre Drummond, so you're going to see a lot of Niang. You're going to see a lot of Toby Harris. And, of course, you're going to see a lot of Embiid. Seth Curry should continue to see his plethora of minutes since Danny Green is out, as well as Matisse Thybulle. So I just think that with guys still coming back, the conditioning has been such an issue, and it has been something that's been eyebrow raising, I should say, coming out of these protocols. I'm not sure if the Raptors are going to be able to keep up with the pressure that is going to be the 76ers, as well as the pace that they can put on. So I like the Sixers -5.5. I'll take that for only 1 unit. The Los Angeles Lakers -5.5. Look, guys, they're playing against this Houston Rockets team. They're gonna have They're having healthy bodies today. Kevin Porter Jr. returns. Jalen Green comes back after having a 1-day rest on the front end of a back-to-back. And again, this is a second end of a back-to-back for Christian Wood, Şengün, and things like that. And look, guys, the Lakers need to get a win. This is a big game for the Lakers, and just in terms of the fact that they're on a skid, they're 2 games under 500, but yet they were known as one of the top favorites to be coming out of the West. And they're not there. So this is a big game. This is a statement game, I think, for them to just say, hey, when we're on, we can beat these scrub of a team. And yes, the Houston Rockets, as much of a good story they were a week or two ago and how strong they played, they are still a team full of NBA scrubs, meaning you're still good. You're just NBA scrubs. So I like this one. I'm going to do this for a whopping, and I haven't even done this yet. This is my first one. But we're going to do 3 big units. That's right. That's a max bet for me on most. So I'm not saying that's all in. That's just 3 big units, essentially saying put your money there. This is my lock of the day. I'm taking the Los Angeles Lakers at -5.5 on the road against the Houston Rockets. The New York Knicks on the road against the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are also on the second end of a back-to-back. They're at home. They're 4.5-point underdogs to the Knicks here, and the Knicks get Emmanuel quickly. They still have Julius Randle. Kemba still being the starter. The question mark on Burks, on what his role is going to be moving forward, I think is very interesting. But look, the Knicks definitely have the talent, and they have all of the capability to take off in this game, especially with their defensive presence, and I believe that they're going to do this. I believe that the New York Knicks know that these are games that they need to win now that they have fallen 3 games under 500 in some tough games. The Christmas game was tough for them. So I'm going to take the Knicks here. I like the Knicks -4.5, but I'm only going to take that for a unit. I'm not too confident in that, just being that the Timberwolves they continue to surprise you in many ways. And it looks like 72% of bettors are also betting with the New York Knicks. So I'm with the Knicks here at -4.5. I like them quite a bit. Actually, take that back, guys. So 70% are on -185 for the Knicks. 66% of bettors on +4.5 for the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm going against the grain here. I'm at -4.5 for the New York Knicks. I like the Knicks winning this game, and I actually think they're going to win by 7 or more points. Move on to the next game here. We have the Cleveland Cavaliers, 4.5-point favorites over the New Orleans Pelicans. Still no word on if Josh Hart is going to play. Brandon Ingram ruled out as questionable after being taken out early of their previous game due to an Achilles soreness, so you're going to see a lot of Herbert Jones. I like Herbert Jones today, by the way, in DFS. Jonas Valanciunas is expected to make his return after sitting out a previous game due to illness. I think that the Pelicans are being a little overlooked here. I know that Brandon Ingram being out leaves a lot of a scoring load, but Devontae Graham can score. Josh Hart has been playing phenomenally. He's getting a little too overpriced for you DFS players, but he has been playing phenomenally this season in his new role, both as a passer, rebounder, and now today he's going to be a scorer. And the Cavs, no Darius Garland today. Evan Mobley is expected to make his return as long as his conditioning is good leading into the game, is what reports are saying. But being young, coming out of that COVID protocol, I would expect him to at least get minutes and be on the floor. I like the New Orleans Pelicans with the points here. I'm taking plus 4.5 for the New Orleans Pelicans at home, and I'm going to take that for one whole unit. The home team underdogs is what we are rolling with here. Next up, we have the Denver Nuggets as 7.5-point underdogs on the road against the Golden State Warriors team that has no Draymond Green. Andre Iguodala questionable. They've already ruled out Jordan Poole. So you're going to see a game where it's Steph Curry, Otto Porter Jr., Nemanja Bjelica. Oh, and there's still no Damian Lee and Gary Payton Jr. The good news is they did get Andrew Wiggins back. So Wiggins is expected to be back in the lineup today. You're going to see a lot of Kevin Looney. But you know what, guys? I love the points here. I think plus 7.5 is still a little too much for me. I think plus 7.5 is a good bet when you have guys like Nikola Jokic on your team, Aaron Gordon on your team, Monte Morris making a comeback, Will Barton still running things out there. I believe that they're being overlooked due to the fact that they've been inconsistent, especially when Jokic is on and off the floor. But with no Draymond Green to facilitate that offense, and trust me, a lot of the offense for the Golden State Warriors is ran by that power forward, Draymond Green. With him not being there, I think that there's just going to be such a heavy workload on Steph Curry. And I'm not saying he can't make that successful. I'm not saying that the Warriors could not come out of this game wins. Look, they're 350 favorites. Vegas has their lights on for a reason. But the spread is big. Plus 7.5 points. And you have Jokic going up against Looney. And basically that's it. He should have a field day. JaMychal Green, he is a good post player as well. He could run the floor. He should have a field day. And I think the X factor in this game is going to be Aaron Gordon. I like the Nuggets here. I'm going to take them at plus 7.5. And last but not least, guys, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder coming here into my hometown, facing off against the Sacramento Kings here on the Cowbell Kingdom Basketball Zone YouTube channel. You know we're going to have a post-game show tonight, so be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell button so that you guys can join the show live when we go on after the game ends and hopefully talking about a Kings win. But at plus 5.5 on the road here against Sacramento, where the Thunder just got hit with COVID protocols. No Derek Favors. No Baisley. No Jerome Robinson. No, who else is out? No Josh Giddey. So, plenty of guys are out. The total over-under on points, total points is 224.5. I believe that is a great number, so we're going to stay away from that line. But minus 5.5, this I believe is going to be a big bounce-back game for De'Aaron Fox. At $7,800, I believe he is a great play for all FanDuel users. I like De'Aaron Fox here in this game. I like the spread, minus 5.5. The hook kind of scares me a little bit. If you're willing to buy the hook, I like it a little bit more. But minus 5.5, you get Rashawn Holmes. You get a second game back for De'Aaron Fox. Tyrese Halliburton has been playing phenomenally. You got Barnes, buddy. I mean, the team is starting to get healthy. Guys are starting to show up a little bit. The team is playing well in the first half. It's just we want to see it for a full 48 minutes. If the Kings can play up to their potential, I believe that this should be a game where they take off early or at least fall behind a little bit, then take off by the end to mid-second quarter time and then not look back. This should be a game that they win handedly, double the amount that the spread is. So I take minus 5.5, and I'm going to take that for 2 big units. Man, that's a lot of big bets today. So just to run this down, I want to make sure that this thing gets posted in time for you guys to use these bets just 20 minutes before lock here. Rundown review. We are taking the Bucks minus 14.5 for just 1 unit. We're taking the Wizards plus 7.5, the underdogs, for 1 whole unit at plus 7.5. We're taking the Sixers minus 5.5 for 1 unit here against the Raptors. We like the Los Angeles Lakers minus 5.5. We love that game. We know the Lakers need this. 3 big units, the first 3 big unit of this show. We are taking the Los Angeles Lakers minus 5.5. We have the New York Knicks on the road minus 4.5 for 1 unit. We have the New Orleans Pelicans, the at-home underdogs, at plus 4.5. We're taking that. We're scooping it up. We're playing that for 1 whole unit. We're taking the Denver Nuggets here, plus 7.5 on the road against the Golden State Warriors. And lastly, we're taking the home Sacramento Kings minus 5.5. Preferably, I would say, by the hook. But we're doing that for 2 big units, guys. And that is our show. Let me know if you're going to be riding with me, if you're fading me. Maybe the hot streak is completely over. Like I said, the last time we did this show, we had lost record on those slated games. But once one streak ends, a new one is set to begin. Once one door closes, another one opens, and this might be the time where our show opens and we start going on another run heading into 2022. Again, guys, let me know if you're going to follow me, if you're going to fade me. Mention it down there in the comment section below. I've been your host today. My name is Vince Miracle. You guys can follow me on all social media platforms of @VMCenter. Good luck to you all out there, and until next time, NBA betters,